hurt some people's feelings. So if you a little sensitive, you might as well turn this joint off right now. Okay? How you afraid to drop a dime when you
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another installment of Real Talk with Rebel Fitness. I'm back here with my owner, Carissa, and we're going to talk about what it looks like to run and operate a gym that doesn't focus on and sell weight loss only, but focuses on being a weight neutral place.
And that is a lot to unpack. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to do it very efficiently, you guys.
On a shot clock.
We are. So if you guys hear somebody scream in the background, ball, that's just my hint to be quiet. So the last podcast that you and I did together, we had a plan. Shemar had a plan. And it was a great plan. And y'all, I took the ball and nobody ever saw it ever again. But in my defense, we got hype. We were talking to the amazing Sam, who was in here running the cameras for us. And she was giving us a bunch of background things that we didn't know about the military, specifically for women, but the military in general, and how diet culture is so steeped in that, and the things that they have to do and the expectations that they have to meet are crazy. And I got hot. I got worked up. I got all the things. And so when Shemar started the podcast, I was like, yeah, no, we're going to talk about this.
Let's
so anyway,
address this. Yeah.
So anyway, I am cooler, calmer today. I just got poured on out there, so my hair is probably a little crazy, but cooled off. And so we're going to stick with the plan today. So I'm excited about this podcast. Yeah. I'm excited to help people understand, what foundationally it is that we're trying to do at Rebel. Because number one, again, it's very countercultural. It's not something that people hear about a gym doing because it seems like crazy. It seems crazy that we would even put the idea of, weight being neutral out there when it comes to health and fitness, right? Because as Shemar mentioned in our first podcast that dropped yesterday, so we're so excited about that. The feedback has been incredible. You guys are amazing. When Shemar talked about health meaning skinny, that is just kind of what everybody believes, right? And that's a gross generalization. We're making strides in that, and that is becoming less popular, but it is still, the thing, you guys. And so
smaller is better is still a very commonly believed thing.
100%, especially for women.
Take up as little space as possible.
And so
physically, emotionally.
All so for us to become and to say, we are going to be a weight neutral space. That is a question that we get a ton, is what the hell is weight neutral? Like, what does that even mean? So I'm going to give just a little breakdown of like why we chose that, what it means to us. And then Shemar's going to get into how we actually program and train people and how we actually do run like our offer, like the meat and potatoes of what we do. We can talk about all this stuff all we want to on these chairs and in front of these mics. But if you walk into our gym and you don't actually see that happening, then, there's no point to any of it. So weight neutrality, you guys, is something that at the beginning, we didn't really use this term. We actually I was introduced to this term from a dietitian. And I loved it because there's this body positivity movement, right? There's this idea of like, we have to like either be over here and like, we've got to do weight loss, or we've got to be all the way over here in body positivity. And the reality is that we live in a world where, whether it's meant to or not, everything is monetized. Everything becomes something that you can sell people. And then we start kind of chipping away at the integrity of it until the weight loss stuff was meant to be something to help people, but then it becomes very predatory and very terrible. Then the same thing happened with body positivity. It was like, we know that diet culture is terrible. We want so badly to do something different. So then the body positivity movement was born, which was really just to lead with feeling positive about your body instead of always leading with, this is what's wrong with this. This is what it can't do. This is why it sucks. This is why I'm ugly. This is why I'm too fat. This is whatever. Mm-hmm. But then the body positivity movement also got stolen and it became monetized and it also became predatory. The wellness community lives within that too. It has become very predatory. The wellness space, you guys, made more last year than Big Pharma. right? Mic
yeah.
drop on that. That'll be a whole nother podcast. So the wellness industry made more than big pharma. So just, sit on that one for a second. Sit on that one for a second. So, and a lot of it, unfortunately, is predatory. And that is the reality as we live on this spectrum. And so as Rebel Fitness, we were trying to figure out where do we fit in here, but not be predatory. And so weight neutral was one of those things that I was like, that resonates with me. Like that's essentially what we're doing. When we smashed all the scales and we threw them all in the back, it was like, we're separating ourselves from this and we're separating the number on the scale, meaning health.
Yeah. Or the value of the individual being dictated by the number on the scale.
Yep. 100%. And so that's all it means to us. It's not complicated. This is not like a Webster's, Merriam dictionary situation that I got to go into. It is, we are not using the number on the scale to dictate success, worth, health, fitness, any of those things, because it doesn't. It is a one-dimensional, stupid number. And it is because again, we're on the spectrum of just disorder and craziness, but weight has been the easiest way for predatory businesses to control people and make people feel like absolute shit about themselves. And knowing that, again, if you're a real health and fitness professional, you understand how almost meaningless that number is truly. If you understand metabolics and you understand metabolism and how a person's body works, you understand that number is just dumb. Can it be used in conjunction with other things to help figure things out? 100%. But most people are not going to take the time to do that because, again, that costs more money. And that creates more, situations where as a gym owner, especially, or as a company, you've got to put more effort into it. You got to put more money into it. I got to hire more staff to be able to run the programs that we do. I have to do more training. I have to spend way more time and money to make sure that we're doing it the right way. Whereas if I was just selling weight loss, all I need is a couple good trainers and a couple scales.
Right. Yeah.
To be right up here.
And it takes a lot more training, like physically, mentally, and programmatically to then build a team that can do that alongside of you, right? Because as you even are coming through like school, university stuff, like you're more so taught just like either make your athletes slimmer or make your athletes stronger. Like they can be faster, more explosive, but it's never really just about like health, right? It's just how is performance, biomechanics, this and that. Like what about just the person,
200%. And again, that's like a whole nother podcast. We've talked about that too, is like, what is health to you? What is wellness to you? Right. And so anyway, that's where we want to live, on this spectrum is, in this weight neutral space. And again, Shemar's going to get into the nitty gritty of this because that doesn't mean that people can't lose weight at Rebel. It doesn't mean that you can't want to have a weight loss goal. But again, for us, it's never going to be just about the weight. Like if you want to lose body fat,
we'll set a fat loss goal.
If you want to
lose body weight as a byproduct of doing the right things, then that's awesome.
And essentially that's what we're focusing on. We're focusing on metabolism. We're looking at, that number of because when your body fat goes down, you are either losing it or you are flipping it into muscle, lean muscle. And that's what's developing your metabolism. And so that's what we're focused on. We are a weight neutral space in that way. We will never lead with weight. We will never put any type of worth into weight. And so, but that's a hard thing, right? Like that's a hard thing you can say that again, like in our first meetings when we're like, okay, this is who we are. This is what we're doing. And then it's like, okay, now what? Like, what do we do? Like, how the hell do you run a gym if you're not going to be offering this stuff? And so that's what Shemar is going to get into right now is how we do run our training and our programming and our transformation stuff and all these things. And this has been a process. We were not perfect at this when we first started because you've got to unlearn. It's just like the healing process, guys. It is never going to be linear. And God knows we wish that it was, but it's going to be all over the place. It's going to be exhausting. It's going to be hard. And that's what this process looked like for us as well. And we'll talk about a little bit of that too. But I'm going to hand it over to you and
there we go.
Talk about all the programming.
Yeah, so that's kind of like Chris was talking about. That's what weight neutral looks like to us. And kind of the example I was giving is that if you go to a bodybuilding gym, there's probably still people that don't look exactly like a bodybuilder. Or if you go to a very common commercial gym, there's probably people on all sides of the spectrum, right? So just that's the same way that if you come into Rebel, you're not going to see one type of person. You don't just see a weight neutral person that's never losing weight. You're just seeing a gym full of individuals. The programs that we create for them and the goals that we have for them are just a little bit different. And with that being said, the main thing that we focus, since we're not focused on the weight loss, is the building of muscle and the metabolism, right? So for each pound of muscle in your body, on average, you're going to burn more calories while at rest. So you've got lots of different ways that your body burns through calories. The way that we learn about most of the time is exercise, but that actually makes up the least amount of calories you're burning throughout the day. You've got NEAT, which is non-exercise, which is just sitting around your metabolism. You've got just thermogenics, which is the heat, the temperature of your body burns calories. And then your actual expenditure, your movement, those calories are what you actually put work into. But your body burns the majority of its calories alone just through metabolics, keeping your heart pumping, keeping your organs functioning, keeping your brain thinking, right? So you have to have a certain amount of calories for your body to function. Your muscles help you burn more of that excess, but you can't just keep cutting it out, right? So that's one of the biggest things in being a weight neutral gym is, hey, let's build muscle so you can burn calories more effectively, so you can have a better metabolism, so we don't have to starve you into losing weight, right? We don't have to starve you into fat loss.
And we also, as a gym, don't have to, I think this is another place where gyms get predatory. I'm probably going to push some buttons here. But this idea, this like the never miss a Monday mentality, right? It's so toxic because if you don't understand how metabolics actually work, and what you just said should be blowing some minds.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this and you don't know anything about this,
it was like 7 calories on for like,
and it's like, but the idea that gyms will give people is that the only way you can lose weight, burn fat, or any of this is
increase metabolism
by going to the gym. And that is the least amount of calories that you are burning in your whole metabolic system. It's the least amount of calories. So will belonging to a gym help you, and it will, motivate you, and you'll learn all those things. But is it going to be the game changer in your metabolics at the end of the day? No, it's just not. That's the reality. And so the gym culture, like we're taught to teach people and to market and to advertise in this way that it's like, you need to belong to a gym. You're lazy. You're not hitting goals. You're so you need to belong to a gym. And it's just not true. There's a lack of education, and there's all this, all these lies and all this crazy marketing. Again, that's just wild in general. But it twists how your metabolics actually work into thinking that the gym and the time you spend in the gym is the most important thing. And that's where a lot of like the exercise anorexia and things like that come into play, because people don't realize that all I would have to do is have a little bit higher metabolism, be doing, certain things differently, but not in that kind of crazy way. And I wouldn't have to be worried about always like earning the donut or burning the donut off after I eat it. And so anyway, I think that is, if your mind wasn't blown by that, like if that didn't...
the more muscle you have, the more calories you burn at rest. It's like 7 calories per hour more at rest per pound of muscle in your body. Something like that.
Yep.
But it's...
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's just, that is the definition, in my opinion, of empowerment. Take that information and be like, oh, and how are we building muscle, right? It ain't cardio. It's
not cardio.
It ain't cardio, people.
Right. So where other gyms, like Chris is saying, they're selling the never miss a Monday mentality, the sweat equity, the earn whatever situation, right? The more you're sweating, the more you're burning, all these different, wear a trash bag into class, right? Whatever it is, That's just not what we're promoting anymore. It's not the never miss a class. It's not the you should wake up sore. It's not the more you sweat, the harder you worked. We have different things that we're training people for, right? So the things we run it by are, is it a functional exercise, right? Is it helping this person function better as a human being? Can they squat, move laterally? Can they run if that's a goal? Can they step up, jump? If it's a goal of theirs, are we programming to make them able to do that function, right? That's the first thing. Then you've got strength. Are they strong enough to do all the things that they want to continue to do in their life? You can be a certain weight and still be strong enough to do all the things you want to do. I saw a great Instagram video of a guy that had a, air quotes, dad bod, whatever, doing backflips off
I've seen
cliffs,
this guy,
right?
love him.
And he's like, sorry, this is peak male physique, be mad about it, right? And there's guys with six packs that are walking around back pain, their knees hurt because all they do is go to the gym all the time and overwork. Yeah. And there's guys with a air quotes dad bod that are playing, pick up pickleball every week, that are still playing softball with their friends, that have a good gym routine. They just also have balance in their life, right? So the function and the strength are not represented by what your body looks like.
And that guy's living his life.
Yeah, all the time. Like
living. Mm-hmm. That guy does it all. Yeah. And he doesn't think one single time about what he looks like, what the lack of the six pack, the whatever. It's just, I love that guy. Absolutely. He's absolutely amazing. So I love the idea of that. He's not letting any of that stuff hinder him, and he's doing 1,000 times more than quote unquote healthy people would be doing. So
you've got the function, you've got the strength, and then if you're really trying to help people train for body neutrality, then you have to focus on the consistency, right? It's not the come in for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, lose the weight as quickly as possible, and then go enjoy your life, right? If you want to actually build muscle and maintain it, you have to stay in the gym at least moderately consistently. You don't have to work out 6 days a week forever, but if you work out 4 or 5 days a week to build the physique, then you probably have to work out 2 to 3 days a week to maintain the physique. And if you can only work out 1 to 2 days a week, maybe you have to rebuild parts of that physique that fell off in that time, but that's okay because you're not just grinding or not coming at all. It's okay to have fluctuation in your fitness journey. It's not always the next goal, the next goal, the next max. Just like life isn't always the next promotion, the next big thing. Like it's not, I like the idea that it's not a slideshow, right? It's a movie. Movies have ups and downs and storylines and timelines. It's not click, six pack. All right, bicep veins. All right, now I'm in a bodybuilding show. Like that's not how it goes. Like
I love that. Yeah.
The bullshit, the hard times that come in between are what actually make you the person that you are. And if you can stay consistent through the hard times, that's how you have a body that you appreciate and love and you know is there for you. Because even when you're grinding or even when you're having a little bit less time in the gym, that body is still carrying you around. That body can still do what it needs to do. You can still go to work, right? You can still have fun with your friends. You can still do what you need to with your kids. So it's just having the consistency that whether it's all the time, 5 days a week, or just 2 days a week, that's what I can do. Just you're not going to stop, right?
And I love to that effect, think about this is because this is, again, we get a lot of questions about like, what the hell actually is diet culture, right? So the way I help people understand it and the way I look at it now is like what you just said. Think about how diet culture is a business that tries to make us forget everything that you just said. They try to make you think that fitness and health and all these things are linear. And if you're not on this linear path, you're the fuck up. If you're not doing the slideshow, it's your fault.
That's true.
Because you should be doing that. Why are you not doing that?
You're not running your first Murph next year?
That's so simple. And then right after that, doing the ultra marathon, and then after that, doing the whatever, and then after that, and then having a baby and snapping back within 5 seconds. Like that's where diet culture comes in, and that's where you've got to be able to kind of like see that stuff and unpack it. And again, it helps you in the healing process because every time it comes up for you to be like, I suck, I'm a failure, I just started this thing and I'm already falling off. It's helpful in the healing process because you can kind of go back and be like, but wait, Is somebody making money off of me feeling like I'm a failure right now? Is somebody's, pocket getting lined because I feel like I should be on this linear journey with this, knowing it's not possible. It's all seasons, people. Like literally, it's biology. You've got to rest. You're going to have injuries. You're going to have kids. You're going to move. You're going to lose somebody that's important to you, and your entire freaking life shuts down. You're going to have these huge changes. You're going to have all these things that happen. And this idea that we're just going to continue to like power through and not miss a Murph, is wild. And again, it is brought to us by the paid craziness that's behind the curtain.
Right.
My Wizard of Oz reference is there's always somebody behind the curtain pulling some strings.
Yeah.
So,
and you don't have to stop everything, right? Like you shouldn't just because a hard time happens. Like if you're watching a movie and a very detrimental thing happens, it's not like the movie just stops. It might have a lull until the next climax, right? Yeah. So maybe your life is the same way. You have that little lull until the next climax, but the movie doesn't stop. I think that's the main thing that you have to look at.
Yeah.
And then the thing that ties directly into consistency is long-term success. So are you hitting the goal that you had right now? And then do you have a new goal? Can we help you reach that goal, right? So not only just being consistent, just showing up, but what does success look like to you, and how can we help you maintain that success long term, right? Not the 6-week challenge mentality of 25 pounds in 6 weeks. Let me go chill for 2 months because I hate the gym now, and then come back and I have to do it again, right? Like what does long-term success look like? Okay, so you want to have a body recomposition of gaining 5 to 10 pounds of muscle and losing 10 to 20 pounds of fat. Okay, we can work on that. Now that we get there, what does long-term success look like? How do we maintain that? How do we help you never have to make that body recomposition again? Or if you do, make it as easy as possible, or make it a much smaller transition because you never let yourself get as far away from your goal point as you want to be. So the long-term success comes from consistency, and it comes from being able to function, right? Because if you don't have the strength and the function to stay consistent, how can you even have long-term success?
Yep.
So they compound. Yeah.
Always the long game. The faster you can switch that mindset to this is the long game, the better. And again, that's going to be the business part of, diet culture is going to try to make you think that it's all like you should be doing this like that. Mm-hmm. And I tell my consults, you should think about, the amount of time that you've spent maybe over, a lot of them come in, it's years. I've been paying this membership to the gym for years, and it's like, okay, well, what if you took all that money that you spent over the years to these gyms that you've never gone to at all, or never gone to and been consistently, and we just put it into like really investing in something that is real, that is true. Time's going to pass regardless. So what if we put it into that, and then you just trust the process and what I'm telling you, even though it sounds like against everything you've ever known in life, and we just see who comes out, in the end.
Yeah. And that's a really good thought process, right? Because time is going to pass either way. If you stop, time doesn't stop, right? Yeah. So you might as well try to do those things. Like, I don't want to try this new hobby. I don't want to start this new venture because it's going to take a long time. Journey, the fitness journey is going to take a long time if you've been off of your fitness journey for a long time, right? If you have strong goals, if you have out there goals, it's going to take time to reach those goals, right? But time is going to pass either way. Yep. In 2030, it's still going to be 2030, whether you've been working out for 3 years or you never started working out.
Yep.
So the time is going to pass. You might as well make use of it.
Yep, exactly.
And then the last thing that we really, really have to focus on to make it a weight neutral gym in the way that we want it is we have to run all the programs through our pillars, right? So we have to make sure if someone comes in, they give me their goals, this has to be something that they want functionally. They have to want to be strong at this thing. I need to make them consistent. I need to know what their long-term goals are so I can make them successful. And all those things still have to be run through the pillars. Are any of these things going to make them not feel grateful, not feel passionate, right? Not feel like they love the body they're in? Like if I have a 65-year-old woman, what do burpees do for her consistency or long-term success? Are burpees a great exercise for some people in great shape in their 20s to 40s that do CrossFit and other things that are high impact? Yeah. Is a burpee a necessary movement for the average individual? Not at all. So I'm not going to program that for 62-year-old Janice at the gym, right? I'm going to give her step ups, step downs, box squats, farmer's carries, because her goals are carrying the soil by herself, right? And when I run her goal through the pillars for her to be grateful for her body, that's going to be her being able to get up, right? That's going to be her pushing the cart by herself instead of having to order her Walmart stuff, right? She can still go to plant and see and walk around instead of having to ask for seeds. Like, these are all real long-term goals that people have. And these are goals that you have to run through the pillars. Like, you have to keep their true wants and needs in mind, not what they think they want, but what they actually need, right? Absolutely. That's going to help them be functional, strong, happy, have longevity.
Yep. And also not doing one of the big things that we focus on too is do no harm, right? Mm-hmm. So that's another thing as like the business side of this is, well, how do you know? Like, how do you program and how do you, it's like walking a line, right? Of like, we don't want to treat every single person like they've got an eating disorder. No, but how do you toe that line of like, how do you, know, or how do you adjust based on that? And so one of the biggest things that we've done is implemented the consult. And so the consult is a huge part of that programming also, so that we can have those conversations with people about their goals and have conversations with people about their history with eating and food and fitness and wellness and all the things. Yeah. And during that consult, you'll know pretty quickly. Once you've been doing this for a while, you'll know pretty quickly. You'll be like, okay, there's no way that we could, put these thoughts, like, again, somebody comes in who's really disordered, and then we, the fitness professionals, put them on some calorie counting, high cardio plan. We're the assholes. Yeah. We're the assholes because that is doing harm to somebody. And so do I need to be able to sit there in there and diagnose somebody? No. But as a fitness professional who is really caring about this stuff and really honed into it, I can recognize that very quickly. And again, if there's somebody who I already know they're under eating and they're not bringing enough calories in general at all, and then for me to put them on a boxing membership where they're supposed to come 4 times a week,
yeah,
I'm the asshole.
Yeah,
100%.
You're setting them up for failure.
100%. And
you're setting them up to feel like shit.
Yep.
I mean, that's
what it is. And destroying things long term. Because again, if I know anything about metabolics, which I should, because I own a fitness space and I work in a fitness space and I give people advice on fitness and health.
Real fitness and real health.
I would never, ever, ever encourage a person who is coming in and eating 1,200 calories a day to box 4 or 5 times a week. Yeah. So anyway, that's on that.
That's on that. That's real. And that's just really the programming side of it. And there's more that goes into it. There's the consult is anywhere from 25 minutes if it's pretty simple to an hour and a half if you've got people crying and unpacking childhood trauma, right? Like you've got times you ask someone like, hey, how is your relationship with food? Fine, I eat 4 times a day, it's good. Then you'd be like, I don't really want to talk about it. And it's, okay. So it doesn't even take an interrogation most of the time. It doesn't say, hey, so do you have an eating disorder? Like, that's not what we're doing, right? But if you just are a fitness professional and you can see on somebody's face when you mention food that they get physically uncomfortable, they get tense, their mind kind of starts to wander, there's something going on there. It's 100%. Not just I eat for fuel. Yeah. Like there's 2 different camps, right? There are people in the middle, but there's a lot of people that just don't even think about the other side. They're like, doesn't everybody just think about everything they put in their body, right? And then doesn't everybody just eat when they're hungry?
Yes.
Right?
And that you're so right.
Yeah. It's like the middle ground is very lost.
The spectrum is wild and I use that word a ton in the gym because everything's on a spectrum, 2 truths at the same time. Like there's so much nuance. I have friends who make fun of me because I use that word all the time, but
it's a good word.
There is so much nuance in the space. And it is, when I'm doing a consultation, it could be, a lot of times it's where people are like, too, like the endless diet list. Well, I've done keto and I've done this and I've done this. Yeah, one of my favorite things is like
Atkins.
Like one of my favorite things is, well, keto worked really good for me before, so I've been doing that again. And it's like, so tell me about that. Like unpack that for me. And it's like, well, I lost 45 pounds on keto. But I gained it all back. And so, but that worked really good for me. So now I'm gonna do it again. And I'm like, maybe we have different definitions of working good. Because if you think about that for 2 seconds, but it's like
if you go to get, an amputation sewn back on and your leg falls off, you're probably going to be pretty upset. Like it was really good while it was there, but
it totally worked.
It fell off.
We just
so
got to do
I just
it
got to
again.
get it sewn back on every 6 to 8 months. Like,
and again,
how would you feel?
Yes.
Probably real lied to.
Yes. And again, that's you guys what we're talking about with having taking the glasses off and being able to see the business in this and being able to see diet culture and being able to see the disorder in this stuff, because you can see it, you can recognize it in things like that, where it's like we're taught to believe that keto worked. And again, I'm picking on keto, but pick any of them.
Yeah. Carnivore
keto
is big
worked,
right now.
Yeah. But here I am back on it because diet culture has made you believe that you failed. It has made you believe that you couldn't do it, that you jacked it up, that you stopped, so you gained all the weight back.
Keto can lose weight. You can't lose weight on your own. You can only lose weight with keto, because everything else you tried didn't work, right? But we gave you the most extreme starvation, remove an entire macronutrient out of your diet situation, and the weight just fell off.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And it's wild, like the evil genius that goes behind this type of thing that we have been inundated with since the second we came into this world. We are hit with it, from commercials to, and now social media is even worse. I don't even, I didn't even grow up with that. And I started my disordered eating at 13. I remember my first diet at 13, and social media didn't even exist.
No, I have this conversation all the time with my male friends that we're living through, at least that we've seen so far, the worst physique inflation you've ever seen. Like, if you look at a superhero movie from the 2000s, pretty lean guy, has some abs, fairly visible, has a little bit of chest, but they're not jacked. Hugh Jackman in his more recent Wolverine movie, where he's 50, is bigger than he was in his early Wolverine movies, because now
you're right.
Yeah. Yeah. Because now the screen expectation is the Chris Hemsworths, the Zac Efrons in Baywatch, where he talked about all the steroids and diuretics he had to take, because that's what a screen-ready physique looks like. So then you see that on TV in Hollywood. You see that on, social media all the time. And I tell people, I'm like, hey, in a legitimate way, this is not me being conceited, right? I have a six-pack and I have arm veins. That's a pretty good physique, right? And they're like, I'm like, but not on social media, right? Isn't that every guy you see on social media? How many guys on social media don't have a six-pack and arm veins, right? Yeah. So isn't that an average physique? And they're like, I get, because, now on Instagram, right, every guy is 225 to 250 on something huge, right? Yeah. These guys in Hollywood are ginormous. So being a 5'10" to 6 foot guy that's 175 to 190 pounds, you're a beanpole, right? The physique inflation is because you can't even be a normal guy. We have men at our gym that are regular employees at our gym that are average, above average guys, and they're looking at themselves like they're not this influencer. They're not Alex Eubanks. They're not Chris Bumstead. It's those guys are what they are because they take horse tranquilizer half the time.
I don't even know who the hell that is, but I'm with you.
The inflation. The same thing with women's physiques, right? If you don't have a BBL and the most beautiful lips and you have any wrinkles at all,
well, and the crazy thing is I was on social media yesterday on Facebook, which I don't get on a lot anymore, but scrolling through, and I saw a handful right in a row of young girls. A couple of them had just graduated high school, ones that I know, and noticed off the rip, every single one of them was using some type of filter pulling their waist in. Mm-hmm. And it's just because they're next to fences or, whatever, the graduation pictures.
Frames, y'all. If you're on social media, any straight lines in that picture, give them a look. Yeah.
Heartbreaking. And I think me at that age, I would 100% been doing the exact same thing. And it is so freaking heartbreaking because these girls are amazing and gorgeous and smart and capable and all the things. And they're loved and they have huge communities of friends and people. But they feel like they have to get on social media and pull their waist in to be able to post a picture of them graduating from high school, which is a huge accomplishment. It's an incredible thing. That's what should be getting all the snaps and all the claps and all the things. But still we're posting that looking for physical validation.
Yeah, it's sad because with social media being as prominent as it is, average is no longer average, right? Like if you're looking for an actual batch of average physiques, go to your local Walmart and walk around, and there's probably 100 people in there, and that's a good distribution of the average physiques in the world.
Shout out Walmart.
Let's
just go there.
If you walk into a gym and you see everyone's shredded up, everyone's got their pump because they've been in the gym, they're sweaty, they're glistening, their arms are, massive. Yeah, I'm a scrub. Like I'm the worst. I'm tiny. But that's not real life. That's like going to the millionaires club and being like, I'm broke as hell.
Yeah, right?
They're millionaires.
Yeah.
No shit, you're broke.
100%.
Like,
and again, who told you that
you had to be a millionaire to be worth anything, that you have to have a 5-star physique to be worth seen, like being seen.
Who told you that pulling the waist in on that graduation picture was going to make it feel better? Like was going to make it,
Yeah, and
it's
you see
crazy.
The bad stuff is like you'll see guys like these Chris Hemsworths, these, actors off, like in their off season, not in, movie shape. And guys are like, fell off, dad bod. And it's like, this guy still looks ridiculous.
Yes.
He doesn't look like his movie because he's not on diuretics and he's not miserable. But that is still an impressive male physique. Just because he's not in movie form or he was miserable does not mean it's not impressive.
Yeah. 100%. And so, back to kind of what we're talking about with this, like this is another thing that we really work hard to do within our 4 walls is to normalize this, right? To have these conversations. Like that's real stuff. I see most of the stuff from like the women's side, right? Like, and I have all daughters, so I don't know as much. And so these are the conversations that we always have like with our staff and with each other, because it opens my eyes up to things. Like I did not even think about that Hugh Jackman thing has got like my brain is on the back wall over here because it's like, that you're saying that, I'm like, that is wild. And it's so intentional. It's so crappy. It's so crappy. So
and this is what you should look like in your 50s. So if you're in your 20s and don't look like...
don't even get me started. Don't even get me started with that whole thing. How the physique thing, and then for women, then it goes straight into age. Don't age either. Like do not be fat and do not get a wrinkle. Or we're just, kicking you out. So, but that is another, again, really important thing for us, along with the programming, is the culture that we create in the gym, how we normalize things, the conversations that we have. Because
and
again,
that is weight neutrality, right? That it's okay to not have the, incredible physique that's literally unattainable without cheating.
And how many times have you had people come into consults where they've said that to you?
Oh, yeah.
And they've said, well, I've had people pull out pictures in consults and be like, well, this is what, and I say like unfolding a picture, like obviously they pulled out their phone. They were like, this is my goal. And I'm like,
how long you got?
Keep your face, keep your face, keep your face. Like, okay, I'll use me as an example. You're 45 and this is a picture of a 30-year-old influencer. Or I'll do you one better. It's you
20 years ago
in college. What like, it is crazy that we want to try to normalize that when that is not real life. And so a lot of gyms, again, this is what we were taught when we were titled.
Oh, we got you.
Yeah. Well, this is all you got to do.
Yeah.
Well, this is what you got to do. And this is what instead of, again, this is where we have those combos. And this is why everybody makes fun of me, but I bring all the Kleenex boxes into our space, our office that we do the consults. We've got Kleenex boxes and everybody's always like, what's up with that? And I'm like, if you are going to find out, you're going to find out. And the tears happen in a lot of these consults because we will take the time to really start unpacking some of that stuff and being like, talk to me about that. Like, what is it about your college self that you're trying to, like, why are we trying to get there?
Or we just have
that question.
Yeah, like just real conversations. Like when a man comes in and he shows me like this bodybuilder or whatever, it's a guy twice my size, and I've been working out correctly for 7-8 years, you know, doing the right stuff, doing my best on nutrition. I'm like, hey man, that'd be a great physique for me too.
Yeah.
I can help you.
Right.
I'll try to get there with you. We can work out together. I don't think I'm working out hard enough for that.
Yeah.
But here's what it would take. Let me break it down for you. Do you want to have 210 grams of protein per day? Do you want to eat 5 meals? Do you want to be in the gym potentially twice a day because your weightlifting is 2 hours and you have 30 minutes of cardio in the evening?
Yep.
Because that's what it actually takes to have those physiques. And the reason those people have those physiques is because it's their job.
That part. That freaking
because it's
part.
their job. Because they have the time to work out for 4 hours a day and have a private chef and to eat 4 meals and to not have their cortisol through the roof because when they're taking peptides and going to the beauty spa and they're also not taking care of their own kids or don't even have kids, right? Like their job is to look good enough for you to want to pay to look at them. If that's not your job, why do you expect to look like those people?
100%.
Do you expect to be as smart as a doctor? Probably not. Do you expect to have the same financial knowledge as a banker? Probably not. So why do you expect to have the same physique as a model or a Hollywood star?
Or be duped into thinking that you have the same amount of time. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
That's
we
my
all have
favorite.
the same 24
we
hours.
all the same. God, anybody who is saying that in your feed, unfollow immediately.
We all have 24 hours. That is a true statement. Do we have the same 24? By
Not
no
even
means.
close.
By no means.
And I won't even get into like the privilege aspect of that because it drives me absolutely insane. But when it comes to like the wellness influencers and the fitness people and stuff like that, it is not the same 24 hours. Right, you all are dealing with the same thing that, you know, we all are dealing with in different pockets. It's like you've got a family, you've got kids, you've got a business, you're sick, you're taking care of somebody, you're a caretaker, you're going to school, you're working multiple jobs, you're just trying to survive.
Ruben brought that up on the last pod, right?
Crazy.
Like as he's aged, as he's got more adult responsibilities, as there's more things in his life that take precedent over just looking good and hitting the gym, like things matter more. You have things that might have to be on top of the gym. Does that mean the gym is tossed out of your life? But your family, finances, faith, friends, those might all come before the gym, and that's probably a good thing.
100%.
Like
100%. And again, that's just, I would encourage anybody who is surrounding themselves, especially on social media, with these types of influencers that are making things feel like, you know, they're super attainable and they're just clearly not. They're feeling shamed by a certain influencer. They are feeling, they're saying things like, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. It's like that never miss a Monday mentality that drives me absolutely crazy. If you have a lot of those folks on social media, you need to gut that situation. Get rid of them, unfollow them. It will make the biggest difference, again, in normalizing. You cannot surround yourself with all of this craziness and not go crazy with it. And so this would be a good time for me to say, also make sure you follow us on all the social media platforms and podcast listening places. But with that said, I know we got to get to a point we can kind of wrap this up. We really, again, when it comes to like the programming, those I would say would be our, like that list is imperative to what we are doing. And then starting that whole process off with that consultation makes the biggest difference. And then we as the staff, again, make sure that we are super educated. The last staff meeting that we had and you ran was all about the dial method, was all about helping people understand how to be the coach.
Yeah, that they need, not the trainer you want to be all the time. That's also on this list because that's just never a thing that you don't need to be doing, right? Like you can't be the college sprinter coach for your 70-year-old man that's coming in on cardiac rehab. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you have to crank it down. You have to be the coach that he needs. You have to damn near go in your physical therapy bag and be like, okay, we're doing 6-inch step down so he makes sure he can step off the steps at home, you know, safely. Like you just don't get to be that same coach all the time.
Yep, 100%. 100%. And finding, you know, another thing, I am not sure if you said this in this podcast or if it was the last one, but, or maybe Ruben said it in the last podcast too, but finding the things that, you know, you are passionate about, finding the things that you love. And that's another thing in our programming. We used to offer only boxing. So it's really hard because it's like, okay, if you don't like boxing, you find, or you get sick of boxing, which anybody will at some point.
Yeah.
It's like our job is either to be like, tell the truth and be like, well, you probably shouldn't really be doing this all the time. Or it's to sell health and wellness and say, well, you're not motivated then. Well, you just got to stick with it. Well, you just got to push through. But now we're in a space where it's like, we have all kinds of different things.
Yeah, that's part of the consult as well, right? Like, hey, do you know what type of fitness you like? Have you done workout programs in the past that you enjoyed? Cool, we can do that stuff here. Yep. Oh, you've never found a workout program or exercises or movements that make your body feel happy? We'll work with you to do that, because workouts shouldn't feel like shit, right? If 1 out of every 4 workouts is hard and feels bad, that's good, right? Yeah. If 3 out of every 4 are really, really hard and feel bad, you're probably doing too much. Yeah. You should have 1 that's really hard, I want to leave. 1 that's, damn, I killed that. I'm great. And then half of your workout should be like, I'm, 8 out of 10, 9. Like, you shouldn't have all 5s. You shouldn't have all 10s, right? Like, where is your average? Yeah. Like that's just what realism is.
100%. And it's the sustainability, right? So when we're talking about, like, when I was just running keto into the ground, it's most people can't survive on that because it's not sustainable.
And they don't like it. You don't actually, you like the results, but you don't like the results of running, but you don't like, some people do. I'm not, for all my runners, y'all like running, but for a lot of people, they don't love running. They love that they're skinny now because they run, or they don't love the kickboxing. They love the results and the little waist and the compliments they get after they kickbox, right? So what if you just found that intersection? What if you really like hiking and found a way to program hiking into your life that gets you goals and you can enjoy that thing? Or you love hiking and want to do harder hikes, so you program that in the gym. You do 3 30-minute incline walks every week because that translates to your realistic goals of going on more hikes. Totally. Like, what makes you motivated in the gym? Like, what motivates you outside the gym can also motivate you inside the gym.
Totally.
Right?
And then us being able to marry what we know to be true about especially strength training, because women are not getting the strength that they need. And it's no surprise that, again, you can look up the statistics, you guys, but from the time that we're born as women, it is be into us, be smaller, eat less, run more, all the things, right? Like, we're just trying to be smaller. And the fastest way that we have always known how to be smaller is to eat less and cardio more. And so it's no surprise that as you watch the trends on bone density, our bones are snapping and cracking and doing all the things and ending lives literally earlier. I forget what the statistic is, but after a certain age, if you break your femur, it's like your chances of living like past 2 or 3 years is like over. And that is one of the main things that adds to bone density, you guys, is strength training. If you go look at those x-rays and stuff like that, it will blow your absolute mind. And men just tend to have more bone density because they are encouraged to be strong and eat more and do all the things from birth.
There's more wear and tear. We do the pounding and the jumping and the running, like that just builds your bone density, right? Yeah,
totally. So that is another thing that we really add into ours too, is just that truth telling of like, listen, you might not feel like this is important to you right now, but it is, because it's going to, like, weight training is literally the fountain of youth. It is the fountain of youth. And I wish every woman, if you take nothing else from this, go lift weights.
Heavy circles.
And it's not, and it's different too. Like, we really make sure that we understand how it adjusts through time, because the way a 20-year-old is lifting should not be the same way that a 50-year-old is lifting. Hell, even a 40, 45-year-old in early menopause should be lifting. You're looking for a different, there's like a parasympathetic response, there's a central nervous response, there's all these different things that go into it, and women should not be lifting the same as men. And a lot of the gyms, that's how they're programming that, is everybody, again, this is the semi-privates. I always give the example of our semi-privates are the absolute shit, because we program them individually for every single person, even though it's small group, where most gyms will have everybody in a circle just doing the exact same thing, and all you do is change the weight, but you're doing the same reps, you're doing the same circle, you're doing the same circuit, all the things, which is fine if you have no other options. But we knew we could level that up.
Yeah.
We knew that we could make it more personal and prescription for people. So if I come in and do a semi-private, my workout's going to look totally different from Shemar's, and Shemar's going to look totally different from Susie's and Bob's and Joe's and whoever else, because we are different ages, we're different abilities, we have different injuries. I've done something different earlier in the week that Shemar has done, and so that should all come into play. It shouldn't be this cookie cutter, idea. Again, this is if you're paying to go into a gym to get a service. Those are corner cutting programming modalities, and we're just not into it.
Absolutely not. And then just the baseline of the nutrition stuff that we work on, not going to go super in depth just because there's another episode that we could do all about nutrition. But the biggest things are upping the protein and making sure the water consumption are appropriate, because it's very hard to be hungry all day if you're full of protein and you're full of water, right? Like, you don't need 2 gallons of water. You don't need even 1 gallon for most people, right? There's a different level, just like there's a different level of fitness. But if you're high on protein, it's the most satiating macronutrient. You're going to be full. You're going to have energy. And if you're drinking your water, you're going to be getting up and down to use the bathroom, which gets you steps in, and you don't have as much space in your stomach to just keep eating or keep filling it with liquid calories, which are one of the worst things that a lot of people put half of their daily intake to without realizing, right? That Starbucks coffee in the morning, that Dunkin' Donuts, whatever, could be 600 calories out of the whatever that you need to eat in the day, and you haven't picked anything up to put in your mouth besides a straw. And that's
totally.
Yeah.
And water is just important for your overall metabolics. It's just, it just is.
Right.
And again, we're not into like the diet culture, you drink a gallon of water, like the people who carry those gallon things around. You're actually hurting your mineral supplies, just so you know. But clear pee is not the goal.
Yeah. Clearer.
I hate to.
You don't want yellow. You don't want Mountain Dew.
100%.
But you don't want water.
Don't want it like lighting up a neon sign.
No.
But again, there's a happy medium. And again, that's where we come in, because we want you to start using your own discernment on this. If you come in, you're not drinking any water, then we're going to be like, get it together.
Yeah.
But if you're drinking, 75 ounces of water a day, which is very doable for people, for my girlies, that's like 3 of your Stanleys, okay? Then you're doing really well on that. It doesn't need to be this like psycho, I'm peeing every 5 seconds and my pee is completely clear. Yeah. That again is just a very diet culture thing. But we want you to be aware of hydrating. It's going to help your metabolics. We want you to be aware of protein, because 90% of women, that's a push, but it's probably pretty close to that, are under eating protein for sure.
That's true.
And
at least for what they believe their goals are.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
maybe not the FDA recommendation.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Which, and again, another thing with this is just, you'll have a bunch of gurus in your, For You page that are like, you got to eat X amount of protein and da-da-da-da-da. And I've had people come into consults too who are smaller than me going, well, I'm trying to hit 250 grams of protein a day. And it's like, whoa. Yeah. Who told you to do that? And are you okay?
Yeah, their physique goal is Tony the Tiger.
Oh my Jesus. And so shutting those things down too. And again, that's where, our programming, our consult, and then the in-body scans. The in-body is something that we use to help with those types of things where, for example, Susie comes in and she's like, I've been told I got to eat 200 grams of protein a day in order to build muscle and recomposition my body. I'm like, well, what are you eating right now? She's like, I'm lucky to get 75 in. Perfect. Let's start there. Let's start with 75. We'll do your baseline in body. 3 weeks. We'll put you on the program, have you lifting, have you doing the right amount of cardio, which is not even close to what y'all think it is. Having you eating a certain amount of protein, certain amount of fiber, drinking your water. We'll start there. Coming in 3 weeks. And then the in body is looking golden. And I'm like, you're getting results, meaning body fat is going down and muscle mass is going up.
And we can say 75 to 100 is great.
And then I'll say, so how many grams of protein you taking in? Well, about 75 consistently. Guess what? You don't need 200 grams of protein a day. Surprise. Okay, next. And so it's like helping people understand that, again, do we love a beautiful mind, algorithm of how we're calculating our protein and our calories and our steps and all the things? Of course we do, because we're humans and we love the idea that something's going to help us fix something. But is it always a one size fits all for everybody? No.
Because wellness is just what makes you feel well, right?
Yes.
So feeling good and feeling well are not the same thing. Like you can drink alcohol and you feel good, but you might not feel well, right? Or there's just differences there. Yep. So wellness is what makes you feel well, right? It can be a couple of diet sodas a week if that's okay and you still feel well, right? Yep. You can have pizza on Tuesday nights with your friends if you still feel healthy and you feel well, right? If you do that and you feel like trash, then that's probably not wellness for you, right? Then you probably can listen to your body and say, that's not what I want to do. But with the protein intake, with the water, with listening to how your body takes things in, our goal is always to just help people become intuitive eaters, right? So to eat intuitively is to just listen to what your body says. Oh, I ate 8 ounces of steak and I feel really satiated. I'm just going to stop. Or I ate 4 ounces of chicken. I'm still hungry. I'm going to have a little more and then I'll stop, right? There's no, oh, why am I hungry? I shouldn't be hungry yet. There's no, well, it's 2:00. I need to, put the fork up, but it's just, do you feel like your body needs fuel? Go fuel it, right? Yeah. And not with everything in your house, but that's what intuitive eating is. That's the goal, right? To know what your body's craving, to understand what you're eating, and then to find the intersection of giving your body what it really wants.
200%. I mean, take all of this out of it, right? Like think back to, we were joking earlier, y'all were joking about like the founding fathers type situation. It's like, but if you go back to that, right? You go back to like before diet culture, just imagine a world before diet culture even existed. And we take all of that out and we think about what kind of human being would I be? Like, okay, well, I eat when I'm hungry. I drink when I'm thirsty. I wear clothes that fit me. Yeah. It's like you can like walk this whole thing back and be like, damn.
I fight when I'm in danger.
Yeah, like it's, man, times were simpler. And again, gross generalization. I don't actually
bring
mean
back
that.
hunter-gathering.
But
I'm good. I'll catch a fish and eat some berries.
You get the point. It's like, think about that. Like if I was, if I'm feeling like torn in something, I feel like I'm confused about something. And especially when it comes to health and fitness and food and whatever, it's like, what created this feeling in me? When did this start? How did this happen? And you can start kind of like teasing those things apart. And again, those are the things that we put a lot of effort and thought into when we're developing our programs and things like that, because we want to separate people from those things as much as humanly possible. And then we want them to continue to take that outside of the gym also, because we can do all this amazing work inside our 4 walls, but then we take a person and put them back into this disordered ass world that we're living in. And it makes it really hard. We can only do so much, and then we put them right back in. Then they come back, okay, and then put them right back in. So the little things, seemingly little things like cleaning up your social media and cleaning up the people that you hang around with. I've had conversations with my friends before where it's like, hey, it's just something for me and my healing process over the last 5 years is do not comment on my body. Don't do it. Do not do it. I don't care. I don't care if you think that I look like I've lost weight. I don't care if you think I look whatever, unless you're telling me I look strong as shit over there doing sumo squats or like whatever it is, then go for it. I love that. But
the function of your body's fine.
Yes.
Just not
when
the
it comes
look
to
of
the
your
other
body.
stuff, like I don't want to hear it. And mine, and I'll talk about this at some point, like later down the road, but my disorder ran so deep at one point. Like I was to the point that it was like, even like a tan was disorder to me. I will never forget watching this episode, my Laguna Beach people back in the day.
That's real.
Look, I got Josh even laughed over here. Okay, so Laguna Beach, there was the little brunette. I cannot remember her name. She was so cute. Adriana or something like that. She said on an interview one time, everybody looks skinny or tan. Never
GTL,
forget that.
Gym tan lotion. Gym tan
Never
laundry,
forget that. And then the Jersey Shore really
so that was just y'all Snooki, I guess.
100%. Well, Snooki got me too. Do not get it twisted. They got me too. But that was like, again, it's a core memory. We were just talking about a second ago how it's like, what's that movie called?
Inside Out.
Inside Out. Like it literally, you can feel those little deposits going in and it's like, oh, freaking A, diet culture got another one. And I have so many of those. I have so many of those stacked. And I remember that because it became a core memory. Oh, skinny. And I want to be skinny. So I got to be tan.
Yeah.
And that I went down a path of the tanning beds and when spray tans came out. I look back at pictures of myself when spray tans first came out, and I'm like,
I look back on that era. You weren't alone. There was a lot of spray tans.
It's horrifying. And I'll tell you, there is a resurgence, I feel like, of the tan situation right now. Like, guys, there is such thing as being too tan. Some of these girls,
especially if your hair is white.
Oh my God. When they are coming out of the tanning beds over by Target at night and all I can see is your eyeballs when you're coming, it is like, and again, you got to really look at that and be like, is that a disordered thing? Like, why do you feel like you always have to be tan? You always, like, the idea of your skin as is so horrifying. Like, that's disordered. That you got to unpack that. You got to look at that. And so again, those are the things on a fundamental level that we just want to help. We want to give people a space at Rebel where they can unpack that stuff. They can kind of navigate it, figure it out. But then also, if they don't have any of that stuff going on, they just have a really great space at Rebel where we will do no harm. There will never be a chance of somebody walking out of Rebel and being like, oh, like my trainer made a comment about this, and now that became that clink, 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 that little core memory that now they'll forever remember Rebel and the trainer at Rebel that said that thing to them and made them feel XYZ way. That is our goal, to never, ever do
and
that.
We're nowhere near perfect at Rebel, and we grow and we change our programming, and we see the science and the new literature that comes out and change our expectations, adjust things where we need to, but it's the mental health side of it is always going to be, I think, the same for us.
Preach.
Or the physical stuff can change, new studies come out, the next new bicep exercise is here, but the fact that you're a person and that you matter, no matter what your waistline looks like, no matter how big your arms are, is always going to be the case.
Amen. Amen. Nobody's ever going to stand at your funeral and talk about what size pants you were wearing or what you look like right before, you died. Like, it's just, I've been to enough funerals in my life to know that nobody cares about that. And that goes to show you what actually matters.
They care about the content of your character,
100%.
Not the quality of your physique.
100%. So we want people to be healthy, but we want people to be actually healthy, not diet culture healthy.
Happy and well.
Yeah. So, okay. I think that's a good place to wrap it up. I feel like I did decent on that one. Did I keep it together?
Yeah, that was great.
Nobody had to yell ball at me.
Beautiful pod.
Okay, perfect. I don't even know what was our time frame on that one. We're getting better at this, y'all. We're trying our best. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, please, please, please do not hesitate to give us all the feedback. We love feedback. We would love to hear you guys' thoughts on any other, diet culture questions, programming, like any of that kind of stuff. We would love to hear any questions that you guys have. We'll be happy to start answering those. We're getting
who you want to see on the pod in the future, topics that you want to learn about, send us fad diets, send us questions, send us fitness myths that maybe you're not sure it's a myth or not, right? We'll do a whole Real Talk Debunks episode. Like, just give 100%. Us whatever you want, right?
100%. And it's always anonymous. We're never gonna, if you've got like a real question, if you got a question that, you have a concern about somebody else in your life that, you want to ask a question or try to unpack something, we will 100% help you do that to the best of our ability. Go and listen to previous podcasts, because by the time you've watched this one, we're about 8 deep, I think, which is pretty exciting. And subscribe, give us the rating, give us the feedback, and go follow us on social media and all that good stuff too. And we will catch you here next time. Thank you so much. Bye.
If you a little sensitive, you might as well turn this joint off right now. Okay?